Are we back? Yes, we're back and we're live. And things have gone to hell because that's Friday. And that means that we put on this little thing. There we go. Yeah, it is technically. That's how right now. But hello and welcome to the Periodic Table of Awesome. We have chat. We have things going out. People can see us. It's very blocky, but we are in Minecraft land. Hello, my name is Dion.
You know, I'm Quinny, and it's not actually that blocky. Looking at my screen, I'm looking at that going, it's fine.
Yep. There we go. We're all good.
I'm excited.
Hello. And hello. Who's
the
down
third
there?
person? Who the fuck's that guy? What's
I'm
he doing down there?
Film critic extraordinaire and Fast and Furious expert.
Yes,
In
aficionado.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah. And I'm slightly, well, I don't know if I can say slightly excited. I'm curious about this show because I don't know if I have.
Curious about the Furious?
I'm curious about the Furious.
The Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Back in the past, I went very fast while I watched all of these films during COVID, and now I feel like something has washed over me, and I have become one with the Fast and franchise, the saganess. But I am no expert. I am merely a what would I be?
You were born in the dark.
In the fastness. I was born in the fastness. When you came to it, you were only a child.
Exactly.
Yes. Anyway,
how old were you when you first experienced the fastness?
The fastness. Oh, fuck me. There we go. I didn't know until today. Actually, when I look back and I went, how long has this thing been out for? And it's 20 years. And I am astounded
really?
that the Fast and the Furious. Yeah, did you not tell from that trailer that we played adequately? But the trailer that we played, that it's 20 years of this shit. I mean, stuff that has happened. It's all started as a. Where did it start? Actually, Trav, we talked about this on Tuesday. Was it? No, Wednesday. We talked about it on Wednesday. Where did the Fast and Furious start?
Started off as a magazine article. There was an article about illegal street racing in New York City. And the powers that be took a look and went, there's a movie there. It's Point Break with cars, but it's a movie. So Rob Cohen directed it. And it's up-and-comers Vin Diesel, who has sort of come off the back of some critical acclaim for his indie work and his part in Saving Private Ryan.
I don't remember him being in it. Which was that Indiana Jones 4, the one that we've all forgotten?
Sorry, what? No, I don't. I'm not familiar with that movie.
Sorry, I'm making jokes. I'm making jokes about indie stuff. I apologize.
Right.
There's three Indiana Jones films, and that's it.
And a potential.
Anyway, so they made this movie.
Nobody Jones in it.
Yeah, with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. Paul Walker was an up-and-comer at the time as well. And it was a hit. A modest budgeted action film, which is, like I said, Point Break with cars. Paul Walker goes undercover to find this gang who are like hijacking trucks. The gang is running.
What are they hijacking the trucks for, though? That's my favorite part.
They are stealing VCRs and CD players.
Yes.
I love that.
And it was a success. We got a couple of sequels where they didn't quite know what they were doing. They were like, where do we go with this? Vin Diesel was off doing other stuff. He wanted to be a bigger star. And then it took him a few movies to realize shit, Fast and Furious is really good for me. And you cut to 20 years later, and in the latest film, they literally do go into space. In the previous film, they took out a nuclear submarine and a stealth bomber.
What the fuck?
I used to bust VCRs and DVD players out of semi-trailers.
They got a tank, and everyone's in it. This is the thing. Fast and Furious is one of the most popular action franchises on earth, not just amongst audiences, but amongst actors. Everyone turns up for it, man. Kurt Russell's in this thing. Helen Mirren's in this thing. Jason Statham's in it. The Rock. Yeah. Idris Elba turned up in Hobbs and Shaw as, and I quote, a cybergenetic terrorist.
Who, in fact,
and when that line drops in the trailer, makes perfect sense. Yeah. Cool, I'm on board. I don't give a shit.
In one line, he goes, "I'm Black Superman."
It is amazing, and yeah, so
I was
is.
just like, okay, go.
I just
It
I
is
want
hugely popular. The popularity is no measure of quality, but it is also it's a hugely fun franchise. It is the most diverse franchise in terms of casting, currently going beyond the shadow of a doubt.
yeah.
There is no white male hero in the latest one.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Paul Walker died during the filming of Fast and Furious 7. And they never bothered to like sub in another white guy to take his role. They were just like, no, this is about more than any of the individual characters. This is
No,
about
what's it about?
the family.
Family. Family.
Family.
You can't take a Toretto from his family. Family. It's fucking. Oh god.
See, I don't remember like there being that much talk of family and stuff early on. Like
No.
the first one, even
It is.
because okay, my memory of it goes first film, action, shooty, car, bang, bang, cool. Second film, oh, what happened to the lead guy? Or actually, but it wasn't the lead guy. Everyone was like, what happened to Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep like Paul Walker was the lead dude, but everyone's like, where's the lead guy? And then you get Tokyo Drift, where it's like, what happened to the franchise?
Like the Halloween 3 of the franchise, where they sort of went, what are we going to do with this? Fuck it. Cars in Tokyo. Let's go. Let's get in Lucas Black and Little Bow Wow. Sure, that'll fucking work. And it kind of didn't. But that was the first one directed by Justin Lin, who has now directed more.
You know, what's really popular?
Sorry?
Quinny's dropped out there because he needs to pedal his internet faster. I don't actually understand what he was going to ask. I'm just filling in time.
No, I'm back.
What did you say?
Right,
You asked a question, Quinny, but you dropped out.
No, I was going to say that like it's not so much that it was. I mean, yes, it's Justin Lin, it's all that kind of stuff, but it's the fact that Tokyo Drift was that point where what's popular at the moment. I know that anime about drift racing. Cool. Okay, let's just fucking rip that straight out and then do that. Yeah.
I'm so angry. I have to start right now, and because there's a lot of talk about Tokyo Drift, and there's Tokyo Drift coming up in the chat, and people are talking about Tokyo Drift. I didn't want to start at Tokyo Drift, but I need to say Tokyo Drift is one of the high points of the series. It is an amazing film, and I fight anyone who says that Tokyo Drift is a lesser part of the franchise where they didn't know what they were going to do. It was the first time that everyone understood that they can do whatever the fuck they want with this, and no one is going to like ask questions. Like,
it's beautiful.
It's
beautiful. I'm so proud of you right now, dude.
Tokyo Drift is a fucking great film because it takes subculture and throws it together. Like and this is the thing that I love about like this is what it was where it got me. Like I thought Tokyo Drift was terrible.
Dude. No, sorry. I had to tell you this. It's not subculture. It's Dom culture. Dom Toretto culture.
Oh, bravo.
What's your safe word, Quinny? Fambly is your safe word.
Fambly.
Okay, yes, I'm going to.
It's always my safe word.
I'm going to stand up and say,
totally.
Tokyo Drift is an amazing amalgamation of a few different things, and one is it pushes together revhead car culture and subculture from different aspects to make them mesh together. It's a fascinating look into hip hop, cars, Asian influences, nightlife, what it's like to be a reverse fish out of water story because it has a white guy going to Tokyo. Like, it's fascinating, and it's a really good film. And I think it gets treated as a terrible one, and I understand why, because chronologically,
Part 3.
Yeah, it fucks with the timeline.
Well, they didn't do that till later.
Yeah, but then they could see. This is what I said. This is the Tokyo Drift was
badly.
Tokyo Drift was when they just started going, we can do whatever we want now. Like, Dom's back. Yeah, let's make it about Dom. Okay, well, let's get this other guy. Like, you know, I also love that it did that whole thing because Fast and Furious was like, here's 2 leads. Then the 2 leads are going away because they're getting other offers. And there's like, we'll start subbing people in and no one will notice. And then everyone was like, what are you doing? This is all crazy. And then the leads didn't get as successful as they thought they were. And then they come back. And
Well,
it's just like,
I will say that Tokyo Drift is the moment that it becomes a franchise. Like, that's when there is a realization that this isn't tied to one particular actor. It
Yeah.
is the moment where you go, okay, we can shift out our lead actor, we can shift out our location, we can introduce a new cast of secondary characters, and it can keep going. Cool. We've got a winning formula here.
Yeah.
Like the first one is its own film. The second one is definitely a sequel that misses out on its magic of fucking Dom. The third one is the one where we go, oh, we can do this forever.
And the interesting thing is that it still works, or it works even better when you understand that it has been retroactively placed as the 6th Fast and Furious film.
Okay, can you explain this to me?
Yeah, because once they did,
It's all about Han. All right, so there's a character who turns up in Tokyo Drift, played by is it Sun Kang?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and he gets killed in that.
Yes.
And then he turned up in, I think it's part 5, where they're doing the heist, after 4, where Letty gets killed, which is Michelle Rodriguez's character. And everyone kind of hand-waved it. They were just like, no one really gives a shit about Tokyo Drift. Like, it was kind of the redheaded stepchild.
I'm just going to chuck spoilers on, but
of the franchise at the time.
Just
And
check.
then at the end of 6, which is when Letty is not dead, has amnesia.
Spoilers.
And
Yes.
she's working for the bad guys, and they have to go up against Owen Shaw, who's played by
Luke Evans. Luke Evans.
Yeah, Luke Evans.
Gaston.
Yes,
So
Gaston.
they have to
No one drifts like Gaston. No one lifts like Gaston.
yeah, so they have to go up against him, but save Letty and bring her sort of back to the family. And then at the end, like, is it at the end of that one? No, it's wait. No, it's
You're telling the story here, man.
yeah, it's at the end of
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
When Gal Gadot's character, who's in love with Han, gets killed.
She gets
and
killed.
he decides to go off to Tokyo, and then it cuts to his death scene in Tokyo Drift, and then there's some extra footage, and you see who actually killed him. And the guy gets out of the car that sort of ran him off the road.
And it's Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
It's
and
fucking Jason. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Where I went, this series has gone next level. Like, it is a soap opera. They had someone with fucking amnesia,
Yeah.
who became her own evil twin.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
suddenly, they've just promised me that Jason Statham is the bad guy in the next fucking film. I am ride or die for this franchise from here on in. That was the moment when I went, oh, these are kind of, because I noped out of 2, 3, and 4. I saw the first one when it came out. Second one got terrible reviews, so I didn't bother and didn't have Vin Diesel. Third one just didn't. Fourth got really bad reviews.
What was 4? Because I have no memory whatsoever.
That was when Letty gets killed. So they are running down. Hang on, I've got notes here. Bear with me.
Yeah.
That
one. That was
4
now.
is when Dom comes back, so you get Vin Diesel back. He teams back up with Brian O'Connor to avenge the murder of Letty, which is Michelle Rodriguez, and apprehend drug lord Arturo Braga, John Ortiz. And they're basically bombing around South America hunting drug lord.
I'm just going to say this in the best Gandalf. I have no memory of this place.
Yeah. And this
so
is,
5 was the first one I saw since the first one because I was reviewing it. And they gave me free tickets. So it was after I'd become a professional film critic. So I went and checked that out. I was like, this is a good time, because 5 is when it becomes about heists and about missions.
Dion, you keep on asking a question. I want to know what the question is.
No, I'm not. I'm excited about this because Travis is explaining things in a more coherent way that I understand.
Okay, right.
So I'm just like, yes. But I've also got stuff like, I wanted to say, like, it is. It's amazing, especially about that bit where you realize that Fast 6, which is the last one that comes before Tokyo Drift, was actually shot 10 years after Tokyo Drift was shot. So Han, or what's his name? The actor who plays Han, had to actually kind of go, like, he had to basically become the person that he played 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
He had to go back to his early 2000s haircut.
yeah,
Poor
early
bastard.
2000s haircut and everything. And
no.
it's just kind of like, wow, like how did you get where you're going from there? But also, cinema rapidly advances, and some of the stunts and stuff they were doing in the 2013 version, and then he had to go back. You kind of look at him and you're like, why is Han older? Just
Yeah.
before Tokyo Drift, but it's great because like, do you have any understanding who did they hire to write this stuff back to do the whole kind of thing? It's like, Jesus Christ, I just sat down and go,
Oh, that
okay,
is Chris Morgan. Chris Morgan is the main writer on the Fast and Furious franchise, and he is the man who has knitted all this together.
yeah,
What else has this man
amazingly.
done?
What else has he done? Let's find out. Look, he's had a lot on his plate for the past 20 years.
Yeah,
Admittedly,
So
writing
he
that
wrote.
film.
So his first one was Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which is also when Justin Lin came on board. So those guys are kind of like your dream team there. He wrote Cellular. He wrote Wanted, the Mark Miller adaptation.
Oh, right. Okay.
47 Ronin,
47 Ronin.
The Mummy,
Best work.
Oh, hang on. Which mummy? Which of the mummy?
the good one, the new
Bruce
one.
Mummy. No, he was a producer on that. He didn't write it.
All right.
When anyone says the good one, I'm immediately thinking of the good one.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Apart from Wanted and 47 Ronin, as a writer since 2006, he has been ride or die Fast and Furious. That's everything he's ever fucking done.
You know what? Fair enough. Like, admittedly, if you had to, every couple of years or whatever, somebody comes up to you and says, we're gonna back a truck of money up to you. Do you reckon you could write another one of those fucking stupid movies with the cars in it? I would probably go, yeah,
But
yeah,
can you stop calling him stupid movies with the cars?
I was
in
just
it?
about to say that, Dion. Thank you. Thank you.
Because
Sorry, am I being too reductive?
Yes. Yes. That's like saying, can you write another one of those spandex-clad superhero movies? They don't people like them because of flashing colors.
Yeah, any idiot can bang out a Marvel, obviously.
Yeah. But I mean,
I can't actually argue with that. That is accurate.
but also I respect the fact that you understand that these are just stupid movies about cars, or they used to be. They started out as, we want hot chicks, fast cars, and we will wrap a narrative around that.
Yeah.
And that's still a part of it. Although it's one of those rare franchises, like the two female leads, which is Jordana Brewster and Michelle Rodriguez, are still in it and are now middle-aged and are treated better than most female characters and actors are in franchises of this nature. Yeah,
they're like, and I know that we can get to the Fast 9, like kind of look at it, but I mean, I have to say well, actually, the best bit and the worst bit out of Fast 9 has to be, the best bit was the can I say chick fight? But it isn't really. It's
you just did.
It's not them. Like it's not them fighting each other. It's them beating the piss out of a assault, like a team come to kill them, and it's great. It's like there's two ladies and they kick the living shit out of an assault team trying to kill them, and it's fucking amazing. And then the worst bit in Fast 9 is the white party, where it is just chicks in white at a mansion, at a billionaire's mansion.
Yeah, but he is framed as a bad guy, so that kind of
male
prurient excess is kind of.
What was the casting call for that? We need 300 ladies dressed in white, and you must come in all white, and you need to stand in the courtyard of this mansion like it's a party, but there are literally no one else there. You're all having a great time with these cars, standing like it. But that was kind of highbrow amazing, because you go, this is exactly what Fast and Furious started as, and I hope they're just taking the piss with it. But they're not doing it because they think, oh, this is going to look cool. They're doing it because this is where we came from, and we acknowledge that we are terrible people.
Well, I mean, okay, because it has essentially been for a very long time. Look at the pretty car. Look at the hot girl. Here's the pretty girl doing the sweetie, the flag thing. Now have a race.
And that's part of it, absolutely. And I think that's still part of it. Like it is very male gazing. I don't think you can argue against that, and I wouldn't try and say that it isn't. But I think that it is that, and it's a whole bunch of other stuff as well. I don't think one negates the other. I think it's got great roles for women. I think it is, as I said earlier, effortlessly diverse. A lot of people, like idiots, say, I only like diversity when it's not forced on me. Those guys are morons. But if you want to
But
see,
also, if you were to show them the whole Fast and the Fast and Furious franchise, and go, so let's talk about the diversity here. They'd be like, yeah, but they're all bad. No, it's just badasses. Then that's not a black badass. That's not a Latino badass. That's just a badass.
Even though the whole thing is steeped in African American and Latino culture.
Yeah,
and
but that's just cool street culture. That's badass culture. That's not not
East LA. No, that's East LA street culture, and and it is like
no. I'm just laughing at Missy, who was like, well, it's not just male gays. It's pretty lesbian gaysy too. So.
Sure. And
I'm pretty fair enough.
Going back to badass like girl on girl fights in the Fast and Furious franchise, just quickly, I just want to remind everyone that in Fast and Furious 7, we got Michelle Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey, and it was
yeah, that's right.
Fantastic. God damn, that was so good.
I forgot about the Ronda Rousey one. That was an interesting choice.
I don't understand why you don't talk about like these. You got to understand. Like, I mean, and these are the things that, just to refresh you, Quinny, how many have you seen?
Okay, seen the first one. Don't think I've seen the second one. Seen the third. No memory of the fourth. Not sure what happens in the fifth.
The fifth is the first heist, where they basically get together in South. I think it's Costa Rica. I should know better, but
you should, yeah.
And that's the one where they wind up driving through the streets of
dragging a giant fucking box,
dragging the safe behind them. Yeah,
I remember that.
Like, oh wow, like they figured out that they can do anything. I know Dion said it was part 3, but I think it's part 5 is when they really go like, oh, we know what we're doing now. Like this is what the franchise is going to be going.
Part 5 is a heist to steal $100 million. Part 4, or Fast and Furious, $100 million was the drug dealer one, the drug lord.
So hang on, 5 was the heist.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
and 4 is the one where a drug dealer killed Michelle Rodriguez, but she wasn't really dead.
Yeah. So she come back.
I have no memory of 4 at all.
Yeah.
I remember.
I hope they sent his widow an apology. It's like, he didn't actually kill her. Fuck, sorry. We fucked up.
Also, 5 isn't 5 the first time that we see what I think the franchise is actually famous for now is the additions. And the additions to the cast.
So 5 is when we fold in a bunch of characters who turned up previously. So you get Tej and Roman.
Right.
And you get the introduction of Gal Gadot, Mrs. Thor. What's her name
again? Gal Gadot, Mrs. Thor, Natalie Portman. No, wait.
No. His real life wife. Lovely lady. I'm just blanking on her name. Yeah, but most importantly, you get The Rock. That's when The Rock shows up.
That's when because I do remember watching that.
And this was this was about the time when everything started to get a little furious within the Fast franchise, as apparently the sandbox was a bit too small for everyone that's going on. Which is kind of great, because I just look at it and go, I can't believe you guys are fighting about this. But whatever.
When the news broke that it was The Rock and Vin and Statham who all fight each other at different points, and it's always glorious. Like you get to see The Rock versus Statham, you get to see Statham versus Vin Diesel, you get to see Vin Diesel versus The Rock, and every single time it happens, it's like, I am so fucking happy right now. This is like if I was back when I was 15, if they'd actually done like Arnie versus Sly, like it's on that level.
Yeah. Well, and this to me reminds me, like, this is where it starts to turn into that kind of Uber franchise where it becomes like what we kind of hoped the Expendables was going to be.
The Expendables was a massive misfire.
It was, but like if the Expendables had been made in the 90s or the 80s, and it was just put all of them together and then put them into a glass jar, shake it up, and watch them fight.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I like that
But
idea.
with
that-
cars.
that this is a more successful Expendables franchise. Like,
Yeah.
it's what the Expendables wanted to be, and you know, by having these additions and putting people in there, like I mean, this I like that they've gotten so popular now that they have had to split for different reasons, and I don't know. Do
Why
you
do
want
I think that is?
Well, I was going to say, like the news broke that each of the main like tough guys in the Fast and Furious franchise, the actors, so Statham and pretty sure it's Statham, but I know for a fact it's Diesel and The Rock, have like went to war, basically saying that they can't be seen to lose a fight ever.
Yeah.
When they fight each other, they must exchange an equal number of blows.
Yeah. And
I'm like, get fucked. I want to see you get the shit kicked out of you and then like get back up. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
narrative is baked into great fight scenes and great action sequences. It's
Yeah,
not just explosions and people getting their heads torn off. It is the rise and fall of tension and release, tension and release.
it's
There's
not
a narrative arc to great action sequences, which Fast and Furious does very well generally. But when I learned that, it was kind of heartbreaking. I'm like, you guys cannot be so fucking fragile. You cannot be that size and be that piss weak. Okay? It's annoying. It fucking frustrates me.
Yeah.
And it's also that thing of just saying, like, I mean, hey, here, have some toxic masculinity, have some fucking fragile male ego. But also, as you say, it undermines the narrative, because the whole thing of any hero is the thing of losing and then coming back, of dying and having, you know, your apotheosis or whatever. You
Yeah.
can't fucking do it if you don't lose a bit.
And they do it really well with The Rock in, is it part 6 or part 7?
I think it's
Where
which
is it?
Wait, which narrative are we talking about?
The getting the shit kicked out of you and then coming back. But he does it in fantastic Rock style, and it's when he like winds up in hospital because Statham kicks the shit out
The
of him.
broken arm.
So it's part 7. And then the shit's going down, and the guys, like the rest of the gang, are getting like chased through the city by a drone with a minigun on it. And he wakes up in hospital, and his little daughter's there, and he's like, Daddy's got to go to work, and he flexes his giant fucking
cast, and it breaks off, and he's just like, yeah, that's
just breaks the cast right off.
That's
And you know, when he finally like sort of gets there, that entire sequence culminates in The Rock ripping the minigun off the downed drone and using that to shoot the helicopter that Jaimon Hunsu's in, because we forgot Jaimon Hunsu turns up in this fucking thing as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone turns up. Helen Mirren's in these.
That's when
Helen
I realized that. Okay, so my
Helen
theory
Mirren
on
gets
this.
a car chase in the latest one.
Yeah, I have a
She
theory on
does.
this. I have a theory, and I have,
Alright.
and my theory on this is that the Fast and the Furious franchise is essentially James Bond for the redneck group. Like,
Well, no, that was Triple X. They tried to do.
well, okay, no, you're right. Sorry.
Triple X, and in the first one, they actually opens with a sequence of a spy in a tuxedo getting murdered at a rave because everyone goes like, "That's the guy who's not supposed to be here."
Yeah, and
So,
then
yeah.
in XXX,
And this is the thing, like you
which
could
is how it's pronounced.
you could say that it's James Bond, but you see, whereas James Bond is about the one person, the Fast and Furious.
No, this is more Mission Impossible if it was done right. Because like Mission Impossible has become all about Ethan Hunt, and even though they occasionally sort of do the team thing, it's really his story.
Yeah.
And this is actually about a team.
Yeah, and I like, even though there are egos and there's stuff going on, I think the interesting stuff is the creators behind the entire franchise understand that the Fast and the Furious is not about an individual; it's about the Fast and Furious. So that old Rolling Stones one is, it's not about any individual; it's about the Rolling Stones. And anyone who's put up too much or too often would ruin the franchise.
That's probably why Hobbs and Shaw got their spin-off, because I was just like, you two guys, you go and fucking have a buddy movie over here.
Which is great. Like Hobbs and
won't
Shaw.
have to deal with you and Vin anymore.
Hobbs and Shaw is great.
It really is.
Like that again is just a complete ridiculous side note kind of thing that still fits within the franchise, but isn't part of the family.
I just realized something.
Hmm.
How they could continue this after part 10, which is supposed to be the final Fast and Furious. Even though we're getting Hobbs and Shaw 2 and we're getting the Fast
Untitled,
and Furious Girl Gang movie,
yes,
apparently.
untitled female-led film.
Yep. But because
the Femme and the Furious?
Because the timeline's so fucking weird, like there's like 10 years between Tokyo Drift and 5 when Han turns up. Because the timeline's very goosey, timey-wimey.
Sorry, I do just want to point out to you, I just decided I'm going to look at the trailer for Fast and the Furious 7 while we're working here, just so I remember anything about it. And it starts with them driving cars out of a thing so that they can skydive in their cars. And while they're skydiving, Vin Diesel changes gears.
They know what they're doing here, Quinny.
It's awesome.
They know what they're doing here. Like, I mean, and I gotta say, like, I mean, I want to get to
in Bullet, Steve McQueen changes gears like upshifts 50 times in one chase. So,
I just want you to, like, also I need you to understand that, Quinny, that is not the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a Fast and Furious film, because I saw Fast 9, and at one point, how would I explain it? Vin Diesel, George of the Jungle's his car
over a fucking rope bridge.
Oh, well, what used to be a rope bridge, but it's also a border crossing for some reason between two countries, and that even though it's in the middle of nowhere, the army that is chasing him with attack helicopters just stops and goes, "No, he's fine. He's got across the border now. We can't do anything." You know, it's like, but how do you use a car to George of the Jungle, like literally swing on a and he doesn't get out and attach the rope. He just manages to be able to drive his car in a way that grabs a rope and flings the car.
I forgot that Kurt Russell was the person who gives them their
he's Mr. Nobody.
Well, no, let's circle back there, but I want to finish the thought I was saying. So there's a way forward after Fast and Furious Part 10, and it has a name, and its name is Brian Toretto.
So, okay, is this a spoiler for Fast and the Furious Part 9?
No, because the kid turned up in the last movie, because that's why Vin went against the Fambly, because Cypher.
Yes, Charlize Theron.
Of course she's in this.
Of course she's in this.
Former girlfriend and his child that he didn't know about, and that's why he went against the Fambly. So Brian Toretto, who's named after Brian, which is Paul Walker's character, is a thing. And in the new movie, he's like 4 years old and cute as fuck, man. Like, that is an adorable little kid. But man, they can just jump that timeline forward 15 years because like time is a very flexible concept, much like.
And it completely doesn't matter what the time we're in because the cars are always going to be mid-80s classic muscle cars.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if we're in the sci-fi future.
Japanese street races as well. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Or fucking tanks. Or other stuff. There was a point. There was a point where I did.
Occasional submarine.
Yeah, I did look at. I did sort of nudge Trav during Fast 9, and I go, "Is the engine behind Vin Diesel now?" Yes, it is. It looks like an American muscle car, but the engine is sitting behind it, Vin Diesel, and I'm like, "Why? What the fuck is going on?"
I want to see them take on like a James Bond style villain, but I want it to be essentially.
It's Cypher. It's Charlize Theron. It is.
Oh yeah, no, that's
totally
cool.
A Bond villain.
But I want it to be like, oh yeah, there she is. Sorry, I'm looking at another trailer for Fast.
Fuck, sorry. I just noticed in the chat though, Predator Kangaroo is talking about hitting the NOS, and when we get to Fast 9, I have such a story about that. Yes.
Are we getting the Fast 9? Like we're kind of wobbling all over the joint.
We are wobbling.
That's exactly what this was going to be.
We are wobbling all over, but I still want to talk about the love of Fast and Furious before we get to Fast 9, because we can do the trailer quickly and then go into Fast 9 and talk about it. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So in order to bring us back, what were the bits you love about the franchise, Quinny?
I like that you assume. You assume greatly, my friend.
Just throwing you under the bus. I'm joking. I'm actually more interested about Trav's opinion, but sure, Quinny, you can go ahead.
Look, no, I think the moments of like when they do really good car work and it isn't completely ridiculous shit. Like when it is good car chases and stuff like that, I'm on board with that. Like I think they are really good, and that's to me kind of what the series was based on and what it all comes back to. When they kind of started to get into a little bit of these two people get out of their cars and punch each other a lot. I'm like, that's a bunch of other movies. If you're gonna do cars, do cars. I'm now watching Fast and the Furious 8 trailer where they're getting around in snow tanks.
Yes.
But there's still booby girls.
Yes, in the nuclear submarine. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All we need to stop this sub is a bunch of people in fast cars that take. And this is one thing I just got to say about like all of these movies is there has to be like a whole mechanics workshops just sitting around making these fucking cars. Because they usually be like, what do I need? I need like a 10-second car. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll just get one from out the back that I've made. Like all around the world, they go around the world and they just come out with these ridiculous cars. And it's like, unless you spent 6 months building that or even years building
Imagine
that
being Mr. Nobody, which is Kurt Russell's character, who's their sort of government handler, because they become, like later on, they've become deniable assets to the US government, which I want to come back to later. Because it's a problem which needs addressing in the franchise. Right. But imagine being him and having to justify to the Senate Budget Committee. Why have you spent fucking $40 million on cars this year? It's like, I've got this team. And it's like, get them some cab vouchers. I know you don't understand.
You don't understand.
Uber.
Just cars. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
Like if I put them on foot, they're fucked. But if I put them in cars, they can stop the war in Chechnya.
Yeah. It's like a very conspicuous car that is as undercover as a flashing neon sign saying "I'm a spy."
I do kind of like the fact that their cars are essentially their superhero suits.
Absolutely. This is why I don't understand why you don't like this franchise, Quinny. And I think it's because it's not originally a nerd franchise, but this is nerdy as fuck. Like its granularity, its characters, its ongoing storyline, its ridiculous action, it's kind of superhumanness, even though they're not explicitly superheroes, but the shit they do is like next level, like beyond the pale, impossible. Like this has all the hallmarks of a geek property.
Absolutely.
But it's not a geek property.
No. And I think maybe that is why. It's because every time I watch it, or like if I've been to, not that I've been to any premieres for these, the people who I see who are watching this shit are the people who I tend to go, nah.
Yeah, but that's the same as Marvel premieres these days anyway, because Marvel, superhero stuff got dragged into the mainstream. So, we don't have that cachet anymore. Come and watch them with me. We'll fucking hang out at my, like, you live near me now. Come over to mine and we'll drink some,
some special water.
Yes. We'll drink some Coronas, which is the official beer of the Fast and the Furious. And and I'll like make some barbecue, because at the end of every movie there's a family barbecue, and we'll fucking watch some Fast and Furious.
Thanks for just kicking me out of the family there. I noticed that wasn't
no, Dion, you are of course welcome. But you watch them all in lockdown, and Quinny here is like needs some education.
Also,
I realized that Fast 5 was perhaps one of the last ones that I actually watched with other people, because that's the one I'm pretty sure that ends with the chase on the airfield.
That's 6 or 7. No, it's 7. It's 7.
Okay, well then, whichever one that is, because I remember watching that at a friend's place, a guy called Chris in Tasmania, and we watched it, and not the Chris you're thinking of, and I watched it, and we got to the point where I went, what's the average length of an airfield? Because they drive for 20 to 25 minutes while the plane is very slowly taking off.
Yeah.
And I was like, either they're doing 10K an hour and this is really, really fastly shot, or they're in fact on the longest piece of airfield that has ever been known to man.
And it's amazing.
It is.
It
And
is.
also, as I'm going to say,
You know what? Superman flew around the world backwards.
Yeah,
to like reverse the flow of time, and you're like, I take it. Fucking fine, man. It's all good.
He's Superman.
A runway's like a kilometer too long, and you're like, fuck this, I'm out.
Also, I had this like, I want to say I had this Fast and Furious injection all at once. Like, I watched all of the franchise in one kind of like 2-day setting of just watching them back to back, and I'm like,
wait. It is Fast and Furious 6.
yes,
and in the description it says, and this is on Wikipedia. Shaw's group board a moving Antonov AN-124 on an exceptionally long runway.
On an exceptionally long runway.
Good.
And also, the Antonov is just going to take off forever.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, because the pilot was like, "Oh, I didn't put the flaps down." Oh.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how many times
You'll
you see
recall
them.
they harpoon the plane, so it's being dragged by all the cars, and that's why it takes fucking forever.
Oh, right.
God.
Okay. Because like
Alright.
Okay, there you go. That
Well-
6 was the last one that I watched with people that I can remember. I do remember watching 7 because I remember watching the end of it and where Paul Walker peels off and goes his own way, and I was like, well, shit, I'm emotionally invested now. Fuck.
Yeah. See, and this is the thing that I gotta say. These are not films designed for what I would consider my tastes. Like, everything about this marketing campaign. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, fast cars and hot women doing like all this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, okay, fine, it's just not really my thing of cars. Cars get me from A to B. I don't need to go there in 13 seconds. And spend
10 seconds.
Yeah.
You want a 10-second car.
10 seconds. Sorry, I want a 10
seconds
second
at a
car.
time.
Yeah, I don't connect with the source material, but after a while, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And also, I don't know. It's this weird thing. Do they love or hate what they're talking about? Because they represent everyone terribly, but they love it all together. It's kind of like it's like a recipe where they've got a bunch of ingredients, which would be like, oh, we need some horse shit and some pepper and fucking stuff, and you're like, this is going to be terrible. And then when you eat it, you're like, wow, that's amazing. Why am I enjoying the shit? Kind of.
It's like it's directed by Anthony Bourdain, right? It's like,
yeah.
oh, holy shit, I never knew like crickets and fucking horseshit and wasabi could be so fucking tasty.
It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, now I'm gonna eat a cobra heart. And okay, so all right, before we're running out of time, even though we started late, which I do understand and apologize for that.
Oh, we could go a little longer.
But yes, I do want to know.
Only an hour, jeez.
Slightly controversial though. I would like,
because we haven't even gotten on to
Fast 9. I know,
but all the future of the franchise, or the fact that it should cross over with Transformers.
See, you say Transformers. I think that if they do, I would like
Mask, right?
Yes, I want to see this shit cross over with Transformers, and then like at the exact same time that they do, also cross over with a little bit of G.I. Joe, and then make the most out of it by turning it all into Mask.
Does Kurt Russell turn up at the end of Fast 10 and go, I want to talk to you about the Mask Initiative?
I'm there.
That's
Hey,
it.
Dom, I got a helmet for you. Try this on. Kurt, all you need
I'm
is
so fucking there.
Hey, Dom, you ever hear about Decepticons? Ring a bell? Yeah. What about?
No,
I love the idea of Dominic going, yeah, I heard about those.
Yeah, from my brother. He was in the military. So, wait, what?
My cousin, Cade Yeager. What?
He's got...
Holy
okay. Big
you
call.
have struck gold, my friend.
Absolutely.
Which
Absolutely.
one? Which Fast and Furious is the best Fast and Furious movie? Ooh. You can only pick one.
I legit think it is The Fate of the Furious.
The Fate.
I really love number 6, which is when Letty's got amnesia and fucking Statham turns up at the end. And then, Furious 7, we get Statham as the bad guy, and that's the fucking all killer, no filler. All killer, no filler. My Mexican water is taking
Yes.
But the Fate of the Furious, which is the eighth one, it's the last one, before the latest one. That's when
The one with the fucking ridiculous submarine and stuff.
Submarine, but you get Charlize Theron as the villain. You get Dom turning against the family,
I saw
which
that in the
works in a
trailer.
way I don't think the family theme's doing the new one, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mhm.
You get some of the best action sequences in the series, and you get the Shaw brothers, and I love the fact that they're the Shaw brothers because that's an old,
that's a nice reference.
that's an old kung fu movie studio reference. Invading the fucking plane using jetpacks, and you get Jason Statham with the baby basically doing Chow Yun Fat in Hard Boiled, like killing motherfuckers while he's got a baby in his arms. And I'm here for that. I'm just here for it. But I love.
Maybe I need to watch Fast 8.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah, like 6, 7, 8. 8 is just called The Fate of the Furious. Like, kind of work as a trilogy. I think they really tie together. They tie together really well. That's it's kind of like Star Trek 2, 3, and 4 are a trilogy within the bigger Star Trek franchise. So, like, if you're just going to go in cold to Fast and Furious and go, all right, what the fuck is this shit about? I don't want to start at the beginning. I'm not going to watch 20 years worth of films. I'm not going to get confused about Tokyo Drift. If you do 6, 7, and 8, you're going to have a pretty fucking good time. I think, but I defy anyone to sit down and watch those 3 films and not come out, like, at least going like, oh, they're okay. And, probably going like, holy fuck, I just had like 6 hours of the most insane action I've ever seen in my life.
yeah,
Okay.
with
Okay.
cars.
Dion, what is yours?
It's hard. It's hard to make a call because I'm torn. I mean, I want to go all the way back to the first one because the first one is kind of like it sets the whole thing up. Like it introduces you to all the characters, but it's so abysmally bad when you go back and look at it. It's a poor man's Point Break. You're absolutely right, Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Point Break is actually a great film. It's directed by
Yeah.
Catherine Bigelow,
Yeah.
who knows a thing or two about pointing the camera at motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that it starts everything quite well. But I also like to say, just remember, way back then, the hotted up cars that they were using to steal everything were Honda Civics. Like the gang was driving Honda Civics.
But that was the thing in
Badass.
street racing culture at the time, because the idea was you would get a cheap, light Japanese car, or Honda's a Japanese.
Yeah. But it was just like, I mean, you've got absolutely.
But then you mod the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
So the idea was like you get a cheap, light car, and then you like turn it into a complete fucking street monster.
Yeah, absolutely. And but this is the thing now.
You were, to coin a phrase, transformed.
They weren't. One of the things that I noticed about during this franchise, this whole family and all of these people, they never really had jobs. And they never really scored a big score out of any of these things because most of the time they were being threatened with jail and other stuff. Like they didn't have any money. And they came from not a lot of money. But the cars that they have street values of like $160,000. Are they just stealing them?
No, because in street racing, you win the fucking car off the person who
Pink
loses.
slips.
Sure, I get that, but it feels.
Yeah,
I
pink
feel like
slip.
there's an unseen side to the franchise of the people that support crew for all of the Fast and Furious people, and they're people whose job it is to just steal cars. So there's just a crew around the world stealing cars.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And you got to remember, these people are criminals. By definition, they're criminals.
Yeah.
So
Trailer for okay.
They steal cars. Yeah, okay. All right, I believe that.
Yeah, I can't really pick one of these, but I am going to pick Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift because it was the first counterculture one that went against the grain, and I still think it's fucking great.
What about you, Quinny?
I'm actually I'm annoyed because Dion would have kind of chosen the one that I would have chosen. Like I think the others all do their own thing, but yeah, the Tokyo Drift, I watched, and I didn't particularly enjoy the first two. Like I was kind of like, whatever. I watched Tokyo Drift, and because I liked a bit of Initial D and I liked drift racing as a concept and everything, I watched that and I'm like, well, this is kind of fun. I'm into this.
Yeah,
This has got
because
some
it,
good shit
it
going
was
on.
the first one where they went, it's not like car culture is worldwide.
And that's
and-
kind of where I wanted it to go.
And
I
it,
love the idea of it
yeah.
being a globe-trotting, let's look at car culture in Sao Paulo. Let's look at car culture in Africa. Let's look at...
I'm so disappointed that they've never done one in Cuba, which is just...
No, they have. Fate of the Furious starts in Cuba.
But does it have hotted up 1950s cars? I don't remember that one.
It opens with a street race.
Oh, bugger. Yeah. Well, how did I
Remember?
forget
And that's when Cypher rolls up and
Looks like
So
I've got,
they've gone to Cuba.
looks like I've got some more watching to do.
You
Sorry,
fucking worst.
I am watching the trailer for Fast 9 right now, and I need you to tell me what I am missing.
We're
out
going to
on
go
by
to the
not watching
trailer
it.
in a second, Quinny, but we've got to
Okay.
hear from Trav. Trav, what's your pick? Which is the best one? Didn't we do this?
No, you
Oh,
just...
yeah, I did this. I
Oh,
said
yeah.
Fate of the Furious is
No,
my
that's right, yes.
personal
You've
favorite.
done
Not
yours.
necessarily the best. It's not directed by Justin Lin.
Yep.
But it for me, it's like it's so far when it's peaked.
It's
Although
directed
I
by
hope that
F. Gary Gary? Who the fuck is F. Gary Gary?
F. Gary Gray.
F. Gary
Oh.
Gray. Oh, okay. There's a typo.
Right.
F. Gary Gary. That's right, Gary.
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 Yeah,
All right.
kind of guy.
Uh,
Hey!
So, Q, did you make a choice? Are you doing Tokyo Drift as well?
I have to, because I've like the others. I don't know. They are not memorable for me. Like Fast 7 has that emotional resonance. The farewell to Paul Walker. That was quite nice and nicely done. But honestly, I looked at it and I couldn't remember anything else about the film. So
Also
Tokyo Drift for me too.
Also famous for having Chrissy Teigen's ass in the shot, and that was all the shed in there.
Awesome.
Look up that. That's a fun story. There's a bit of trivia for you. All right, let's go and have a
Don't
look.
forget Rita Ora was in number 6,
Yes.
and Iggy Azalea had one line in number 7.
Oh.
Right. Shall
Right.
we check out Fast 9?
Fast 9 trailer. We'll go to Fast 9 trailer and come back and talk about the thing.
I used to live my life a quarter mile at a time. But things changed. I'm a father now. I will always be in your heart.
Little Brian, I have a gift for you.
Your daddy gave me this.
No, I'm gonna give it to you. It's very special. It's for protection from what's coming.
All right, Dom. What's next?
No matter how fast you are,
I am not to be compared to you.
no one outruns their past.
I am more easy, you trying your best to become me.
And mine just caught up to me. Been a long time, Dom.
So we're up against a master thief, assassin, high performance driver. Who is he?
Jacob is Dom's brother.
Your whole life, you pushed yourself to be faster than Dom, smarter than Dom, stronger than Dom. But could you kill him? Because I'm ready if you are.
There's nothing more powerful than the love of family. But you turn that into anger, there's nothing more dangerous.
Maybe this is the end, but we're gonna go out together.
You know I'd ride to the death with you.
Let's get to work.
Please tell me that's not a Pontiac Fiero strapped to a rocket engine?
Impressive. I know.
No. No, that's not impressive.
you're mistaken. This is my world.
Damn, they got a magnet plane?
Hold on.
Tell me you're not thinking what I think you're thinking. There's no bridge!
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's a George of the Jungle thing.
Dom of the jungle, strong as he can be.
Watch out for the tree. Okay,
Watch
all right.
out for that unprecedented familial conflict.
Oh, fuck it. Okay. Yeah, just when you think they can't raise the bar any higher, they they come out with the thing that has never been referenced before. It's Dom's secret brother that had
John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena!
You can't see me. Yeah, well,
I couldn't. Is he in this film?
no, I didn't
Like, I was
see him
watching that
the whole
trailer and I
time.
didn't
I was
see
very
him at all.
confused. It just seemed there was Vin Diesel on the screen, and then he was just talking to no one. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a very confusing movie.
Which is, funnily enough, was what I thought of most of that Bumblebee film. Speaking of Bumblebee, I think we should talk more about this crossover.
Well, let's talk about Fast 9 first, and then we can
Okay,
talk
fine.
about potential crossovers. I will say, as an avowed fan of Fast and Furious, I thought Fast 9 was a bit of a step down. Did not enjoy it the way I enjoyed the last 3-4 films.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's a bad film. Like, still fucking dig it. I just thought that it's more of the same but bigger, and you could argue that that's the entire fucking franchise anyway. But because the 10th film, technically 11th if you count Hobbs and Shaw, is going to be the last one, I was expecting something different, maybe an Empire Strikes Back type of setup, which is going to put us in a position to, like, you know, really fucking stick the landing on the final film in this.
So you wanted the
It's going to be like 23 years. I wanted something. And they do some really ambitious shit narratively in Fast 9. It's kind of the Godfather Part 2 of the franchise, because they keep flashing back to Dom and Jacob, which is John Cena's character, his brother. When
Oh, no, 100%. Like, Quinny, you joke, but like this is like it's sepia toned.
Yeah,
it's got 2 brothers. You know?
Do they leave somebody's head who looks like a face, like a horse, in somebody's bed? Or
yes, Michael Rooker is in this.
Yes.
What?
Michael Rooker is their surrogate father.
Fucking Rooker.
Yeah, Rooker turns up, man.
God
Everyone
damn.
shows up for Fast and Furious. It's like being in a Bond film. You don't go,
Rooker is a demon for the selfies.
Where do I need to be?
Oh no, this is the thing that's like, okay, so there are 2 stories in Fast 9. There is the background flashback story that keeps getting flashed back to fill you in about the origin story of Dom and his brother and sister, who also has never mentioned the fact that there's a brother. Somehow, over the last 20 years, they haven't mentioned the brother.
Just didn't come up naturally in conversation. What?
No, Dom's younger brother and the sister's older brother. I'm not quite sure how that works, but yeah.
Well, basically, Cena's character killed their father inadvertently.
Technically.
So I kind of get like, we just don't fucking talk about him. We certainly don't bring it up in conversation with people who are outside the actual family, the blood family, as opposed to the family. You know?
The family as opposed to the fambly.
Yeah. Which may fly in the face of like the overt themes of the franchise. I'd like to see him address that, you know. But actually, that should have been a scene that they had in Fast 9. Someone go, "Why is this the first time we fucking heard this? I thought we were family."
Yeah.
That would have been a good scene.
Easy. I mean, and like, yeah, there's that, and then there's this whole current narrative where you've got the next heist that comes along that they've got to do to stop the world from the glowing green orb.
What, there are fucking aliens in this now?
Yeah, and it's a
And
computer
Sniper
virus.
gets kidnapped. And,
Yeah. It's a computer virus. It can get uploaded, and Mr. Nobody's there, and they get pulled back in
but
for
they've got
one
half
last
of it.
job.
The other half is out there somewhere.
You know,
So it's Age of Ultron.
Real basic bullshit stuff. And basic bullshit stuff tends to work for Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But it didn't work for me this time. But there's still a lot to love in that film.
you kind of, and I mean, look, including trying to make
you do need to go to the cinema.
trying to make sense about why they have to go to space is kind of like they're putting it all out there as like, no, we need to go to space because reasons, and especially because we've been in Tbilisi where we launched a rocket, and that's totally fine, but we need to send another one to chase them, and it's kind of like that is
what I was trying to get to before is
at best.
what I want this whole concept thing to become. If you're going to lean in on the whole thing that it is essentially redneck James Bond or redneck Mission Impossible, like this whole thing of going up into space surely has to be to fight the James Bond style villain who is trying to sell electric cars. So
well, we already got there. Fast and Furious 25 is going to be on Mars with Elon Musk, who's trying.
Literally came up in conversation between me and Dion on Wednesday night. I was like, wouldn't it be perfect if they fucking, some psychopathic, like fucking billionaire is trying to start a Mars colony, and he's getting rid of good old fashioned fucking
petrol cars. They
internal
can't
combustion engine cars.
Yeah, you can't turn the NOS on an electric vehicle, can you? There's no point having NOS on an electric vehicle. But
yeah, we covered that. We
okay, right. Well, I'm glad that I raised it then, and I'm glad I'm on the same page as you both.
I take a slight umbrage to the use of the phrase redneck kind of stuff, because I don't think this is very redneck. But then I think back to the whole idea of what were they wearing as spacesuits, and it was diving suits.
Yeah. And you get Tej like wrapping like
gaff tape.
No, it's electrician's
duct tape. Yeah. It's just
right.
kind of like
so this is like the Red Green Show goes to space.
It is, and it's supposed to be comedic, but it is not comedic because it feels very forced. And also, like, oh, man, it's just weird. There's so many different narratives. Instead of following one, they try to cram too many in. I think, Trav, into Fast 9. And so you're pulled in too many different directions.
At one point, you're in Tokyo, hanging out with the guys from Tokyo Drift, and then they have to bounce across to London so that Helen Mirren can get her scene. But Helen Mirren gets to drive a car in a fucking car chase, and it's wonderful.
Yes.
Like I can put that on repeat and be happy for the rest of my life.
Yes. But then ends up at the white party, which is just that terrible. Ends up at the party where it's like, oh yes, there's just a bunch of ladies in the middle of the night in England, which is freezing cold, just hanging around in white outfits out the front of a house. They're not having a party in the house; they're having a party outside of the house.
Do not apply. Like, if we can ignore the physics for how cars operate, we can ignore the physics for how heat exchange operates.
Sure.
Because it's all about how it looks, right? Like the Fast and Furious series runs.
These women look hot.
Look like
therefore they are.
Cool,
yep.
And the basic raw emotional soap opera level dynamics, like is it a big dumb fucking like family fight? That's how that series works. So I am not inclined to get bent out of shape over the white party based on how cold it must be.
I am. Let's talk more about the white party now. No, I mean, like, there's so many ridiculous things in this movie that I feel there's a point where you're like, they were expecting you to go, isn't that cool? And you're kind of like, no, like it sounds like it could be cool and fun, but when you see it or when it does it in actuality, eventually you're just kind of like, oh, okay, cool.
So my review went up today. And I'll explain my big issue.
Where could we read that, Trav?
You can read that at Mr. Movies Film Blog, or you can find a link tomorrow when I get around to putting it up off my site, celluloidandwhiskey.com.au.
And also support you with
I should
Patreon
have
if you wish
picked
to.
a site name which was easier to spell and pronounce. Anyway,
You're
it's a
talking to the
question.
periodic table of awesome.com, man.
Yeah, we really fucked up, didn't we?
Yeah, like I don't mean to tell you, but we like when I've gone to a few junkets where like, where are you from? The periodic table of awesome.com, and they're like,
Just empty space. Thanks.
you know that?
Can't tell if he's frozen
Nice
or just
one, dickhead.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
So tell us. Sorry, back
fuck's
to you,
sake.
Joe. Tell us of the review.
Look, it's a question of stakes, right? Now, in like stakes are what get you as a consumer, as a reader, as a viewer, like involved in a narrative. It's like, what does the good guy stand to lose? What does he want? What can he gain? What are the stakes? What's up for grabs here? Is it is someone going to die? Is he going to get rich? Is he going to stop a supervillain? Blah blah blah. And we understand fundamentally that in long form narrative, serialized content, that those stakes are kind of artificial, all right? Because like Batman's never gonna die, and Spider-Man should never get rich, and you know what I mean? Like we just kind of fool ourselves, and when they're well written, well constructed, it makes it easy for us to kind of pretend that the stakes are artificial. And it's the same with the Fast and Furious films. The stakes are largely emotional. All the best films are about a threat to the family or the family. And we kind of go, yeah, that's why Fate of the Furious is my favorite, because when Dom goes against the family, it's like, oh, that's real fucking stakes. Like, how did you fucking do that? What's the story behind this? I know that we're going to get a happy ending at some point, but I want to know, like, what the fuck is going on here? But with Fast 9 and the introduction of John Cena as Jacob, which is Dom's brother, and kind of knowing that historically Fast and Furious as a franchise has like not killed their villains and kind of saved them and then folded them into the family, into the gang. I'm kind of watching it and going like, I know where we're going to wind up. Like, I can't pretend that I don't. I didn't find it as well constructed, as well as polished, as sort of easy to swallow as the previous films, because, and maybe it's just me because I've seen like every fucking film in the franchise, but then again, every fan of the franchise has seen every film in the franchise. I was kind of left wanting because the stakes were obviously illusory, not illusory, but hidden, but obviously like, oh man, I know what's going to happen here, like at every point. And really, like, we're all smart consumers, and when we sit down and watch almost any sort of big budget franchise film, you kind of know where it's going to fucking wind up. This is why spoiler culture is stupid, by the way, because we all really know what's going to happen and where we're going to sort of be at the end. And we pretend that we don't. But this one made it hard for me to pretend. And that's why I'm not a huge fan. Now, it doesn't mean I don't like the film. Really fucking, I dig it. I had a real good time. Drank a lot of beer because they put on a lot of free booze at these fucking premieres, man, I'll tell you. But, yeah, it's like, to me, it's not like the nadir of the franchise. It's not like the lowest point, but it's a mid-tier effort. It's very much like, oh yeah, that's a Fast and Furious one.
And that was very much the vibe I think I got from the general vibe of the audience at the end. It was everyone was like, wow, that was dumb. Like, there's just this strange thing that everyone is collectively. Yeah, but everyone collectively is like, oh, is this going to be a cool one? And then I don't think it really is. It spends a little bit too much time, and I think I mentioned this to you, Trav. Like, I felt like it spent a lot of time working on Vin Diesel's ego and making it a lot about Vin Diesel.
Yeah, well, this is what you said to me.
Yeah.
You know, the way you phrased it to me, D, was that this was a Vin Diesel ego project, and the film felt like a lot of people trying to avoid him.
Yeah, trying to avoid, you know, not trying to avoid him, I think, particularly, but just more like there was a narrative around it, but his bits were pushed so much and it got so much focus that it became not about, as I said, the family. It became more about we got to work out Dom's problem and explain Dom's reasoning over all everyone else, and that felt a little weird. Because they had ridiculous action. Like there's ridiculous action and funny stuff. Like, you know, lean into the bits that are great. You know, Jason Statham being the straight man. You know, The Rock.
Sorry, I've been wanting to mention the Jason Statham thing for a while.
Oh, he's not in this one. He's not in this one.
Okay, he's done his Hobbs and Shaw. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm still really fucking frustrated that this entire franchise couldn't have just had that little bit of chutzpah to say Jason Statham is the transporter. Like, why the fuck? This is a man whose job is driving cars. And yet, it's Jason Statham fighting man. Fuck that. Jason Statham, transporter, put him in a black car,
right,
make the whole
time
thing.
that Jason Statham's transporter has turned up in another film. It was Michael Mann's, what's it called? The one with Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that film. I can't think of the name of.
Weird, I'm blanking on that.
Perfect.
Some
I think it was risky.
development.
I think it was Risky Business.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Collateral.
Yeah.
Collateral, yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's been acknowledged that when Statham's character hands off the briefcase to Tom Cruise at the beginning of Collateral, it's the transporter, which is real fucking weird because the transporter films are kind of dumb fun, and Collateral is, of course, a real serious Michael Mann film.
Yeah, and like to me, that is an expanded universe we didn't need.
No.
However,
But it's probably just a right thing. It's like what studio owns the character.
Yeah,
This
true.
one is just an expanded universe of ever expanding universes. Like, I mean, I love this is the exponential Big Bang kind of, pardon the pun, you know, it started out as a small crew of people boosting VCRs, and now it is just on this ever expanding narrative of like, okay, so where can they go from now? They've been to space. They found the lost family and reunited all of the family. Paul Walker is still alive in the Fast and the Furious sort of section. He's just, yeah. But he's
that's right. He just drove off.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
Because he died during production, they just see ya. And they never acknowledged it.
I completely forgot that they never actually...
He's still married to Vin Diesel's sister, to Dominic Toretto's sister.
Yeah.
So
I do like that what Angel Devil said, that, you know, the future for this franchise, death race. You know, that's where we're going to end up. Like, that is the natural conclusion or the natural progression of this series.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hope it all comes back, like, towards, like, they fold it back in on itself. Like, I want to see Hobbs and Shaw come back into it. You know, I want to see...
I have a theory. A theory. Okay.
Is it a dancing demon?
Is it Mephisto?
Sorry, don't worry.
Is it Mephisto?
No, it's okay. Sorry. I was quoting from Buffy, the musical. There are people out there who are like, oh, that's very funny, Quinny. And there are other people going, fuck off, you nerd.
I think that Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell's character, has to turn up as the ultimate villain. Because the Toretto family are at base, like essentially outlaws. And for the past several films, since The Rock offered them amnesty, they've kind of been deniable assets for the government. And that doesn't sit well with me. So, and Kurt is like barely in the latest film. Like, he is a crackly face on a TV monitor. That's it. Like, that's all you see of Kurt Russell. More's a pity because fuck, I love that guy. But I think they need to be betrayed by Mr. Nobody and basically fight their way out to become like an outlaw family again. They got to be ride or die, because when the US government is underwriting your shit, you're not an outlaw. And this is an outlaw narrative, right? And if they don't do that, they've basically betrayed some of the fundamental underpinnings of the entire Fast and Furious franchise.
And also, I guess, the political sort of statement that the films were originally trying to make.
Exactly.
Why can't they just go back to street racing?
That's where they should be. Like, to me,
once you've taken out a nuclear submarine, a quarter mile isn't that fucking impressive.
No, especially not for aircraft runways. But one thing, okay.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time, or on runways that go for 500 miles.
I want to know. I need some help actually for the Fast 9 one. There's a really big plot, like narrative device that they use in it, which is magnets, and I need to know how do they work.
I don't know how.
It's magic.
That was a lot of fun, though, wasn't it?
Like, it's dumb as shit. Because, I mean, the way that these magnets that they have that work or don't work when it required by the plot, and the only way to stop the satellite is to unleash the NOS and drive a car in space through a satellite.
Do they change gears while they're in space?
Yes. You need to put it.
Michael Bay beat him to the magnet thing because he did that in Six Underground, which I still maintain is a fucking stupidly enjoyable film.
Yeah.
That was the one that was on Netflix, wasn't
it? Yeah. Have you watched that?
No, because I fucking hate Michael Bay with the passion of 1,000 suns.
These magnets actually afford some very fun, like destructive chase scenes. Because they're high-power magnets that they end up stealing off the bad guys who are using them to disrupt electronics, except for their electronics, whatever. They're disrupting everyone else's electronics, but then they use those magnets to create some very fun, like, chase scenes of how they do it. Although I kind of go, it's just super destructive. Like, I mean, how do we actually make destroy more than anyone could possibly thought of a city while trying to still drive and have it? It's interesting, but I thought it would have been more exciting than it was, and that's why I kind of agree with your ideas there, Trav. It's not great. Like, people walked out of it going, well, that was okay.
That was a Fast and Furious film.
Yeah, but you know,
and I will say they primed us for it because they gave us food and there were a bunch of cars on display outside.
Oh yeah,
and,
a DJ and pyrotechnics. And
there were pyrotechnics.
This is exactly what I said to Dion.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Do you remember the last one of these films, the last film that we went to, last premiere, that had that much free booze, also gave you candy, also gave you a toy and some other stuff? It was the fucking Jurassic World Part 2 or whatever it was. And that was the stinker of a film. They know when they are trying to lubricate up their audience.
Top darts for
yes and no. Like I saw you guys. Was it Rogue One? Like they really pulled out all the stops for Rogue One. Remember that was out of EQ.
Yeah, but that was
you guys like Star Wars, right?
Yeah, it's good. But like I will give top darts to the marketing team who did provide everyone with a car air freshener. That's a Fast and Furious themed air freshener, which I was kind of like, that's some smart shit. I like that one.
I'm gonna hang it around my cat's neck. That will stop the little bastard from smelling.
Oh Jesus!
Didn't they give you something else?
Yes, they removed my sense of happiness and will to live. No, they didn't. I passed food.
No, I thought they gave you something to give away.
Oh, I'm not sure if they did. Like, I don't know. But there's a QR code on the back which might have the soundtrack, or it could just be a link to the soundtrack that you can buy. I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll do it right now on live. Where does it take me to?
Let's go.
Yeah, you know, ride or die.
QR code detected. Your phone is now owned by the Russian government. Oh,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
Hey, I got a Huawei, so like I'm
the
Chinese communists.
I was going to say, there's now a small, war for your phone happening inside there. Is two different bots just going.
I've given so much fucking buying data to the capitalists. I thought, hey, let the commies have a shot.
It was it ended up going to one song and deciding which one. No, it's not even worth it. The car air freshener, it smells nice. Does anyone have a car? Do they want your car to smell like Vin Diesel? Send us an email. I'll send you this. I guarantee you.
Periodic table of awesome.
Send an email to info at the periodic table of awesome.
Hey, what's the activity like in the chat? Because I can't fucking see it. Have we had any questions?
Look, there's been a lot of chatter backwards and forwards. There's a lot actually. Casper has had a lot of good things to say. So Jubei Chan says the ultimate bad guy is the one from Hobbs and Shaw. So are we? Do we think that like maybe we're going to have the return of
Idris, of Big Driss, the
Yeah.
cybergenetic terrorist? Probably not. I don't think so.
Right.
Even though he's a great villain, he's a villain in a spin-off. I don't think he's going to be like the master villain of the Fast and Furious franchise, if they even have one.
Oh.
Right.
And love Driss fucking ever since The Wire, because I'm that kind of motherfucker. But no, I don't.
You must watch Breaking Bad and The Wire. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Missy asked the question, Dan, given that you've watched it in such a short time frame,
Yes.
did you notice the stark difference between their street to Sting narratives?
Yes. Absolutely. It just was kind of like, because this is what I said. My brain was going, "What is this?" Like, when I say that I went through the Looking Glass, I literally did. I was like, "These films are fine. I can have it on in the background. I'll just kind of watch them. There's so many now, and everyone keeps talking about how cool they are, and I don't understand it, and it's just going to be white noise while I work."
Okay, Jubei Chan is saying that they think that the voice is a bit Idris. So I don't know. I don't know whether the voice of the bad guy. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Feels racist, but okay.
Oh yeah. Also, what was my point about the NOS? The NOS, yeah, the NOS is definitely a thing. You know how nitrous oxide works. Give more fuel to give you a boost of speed and totally fucks your engine, even though it makes you go faster for that little bit. And it's a whole plot point for many movies is you need to tap the NOS. Why on the rocket car that goes to space is there a NOS cylinder that he unscrews in order to make the space car go faster? It's not being
because it's got
powered
an exhaust nozzle, you fucking primate.
because it's not. But it's like the rocket.
Because that's how propellant works in space.
Because the rocket, yeah, but NOS is not the propellant. Like it's like it's just.
I want to say in terms of I just want to just quickly say,
Space NOS.
Dion, you said that fucking traversing the distance between like the like when it was street racing and when it was like fucking defeating cybergenetic terrorists was kind of a leap. That's a thing for car-based franchises, because I defy anyone to watch Mad Max and then Mad Max Fury Road, skipping the first, like the middle two, back to back, and go like,
how did we get here? How did we get here?
Here makes perfect fucking sense.
I defy anyone to watch the first Mad Max and then the second Mad Max and go, how the fuck did we get here? Like, because that was an equally large jump, let me tell you.
I mean, see,
no, I don't think so. I think the jump between Mad Max and Mad Max 2 is kind of accomplishable. I think with a bit of effort you can make it. But if you look at Fury Road, it's like, oh, when did Cirque du Soleil go feral?
Sometime after Thunderdome and Bartertown. Missy asks, Trav, what's the link between the release and popularity of Gone in 60 Seconds compared to the success of the first Fast and the Furious? Do you think that like maybe that got Gone in 60 Seconds? Because to me, that feels like a successor or a predecessor.
It was a competitor, actually, because they were both. Because I read, God help me, I read an oral history of Fast and Furious about a month or two ago, and Gone in 60 Seconds was the big budget version. Okay, they had Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie. If you look at that cast, it's fucking stacked. A lot of money fucking thrown at that. And that came out a week or two before the first Fast and Furious.
Oh, really?
And when Walker and Diesel learned about that, they were like, "Oh, we're fucked. Like we are like we're the lesser property." And Gone in 60 Seconds fucking tanked, and people really responded to Fast and Furious. So it's just one of those things. It's like so I'm a big kind of Western history buff. I love Wyatt Earp. I love the gunfight at the OK Corral. And in 1 year, we got the big budget Wyatt Earp story, which was Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner, and directed by Kasdan, Lawrence Kasdan.
And then
which
Tombstone
tanked. And sorry,
was it Tombstone?
No, that was called Wide Earth.
Yeah. What was the other one? Sorry.
We
The
got
other film.
we got the low budget Tombstone with Kurt Russell,
Right.
who is in the Fast and Furious series, so it all comes full circle, which was kind of like the B grade fucking version, with a bunch of fucking cool kind of like lower tier actors.
Val Kilmer and all that.
Val Kilmer and Bill Paxton, the late great Bill Paxton, and that's the one that everyone remembers. Like no one gives a shit about Wide Earp with Kevin Costner. Everyone Tombstone with Kurt Russell, and it's the same with the Fast and the Furious. Like, no one really gives a shit about Gone in 60 Seconds.
No,
everyone loves Fast and Furious except for Quinny.
All I can ever remember about Gone in 60 Seconds is like, let's go.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It was just it was Nick Cage doing his Nick Cage thing, and we're like, okay, righto, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I love Nick Cage, man. I fucking adore the man.
My question then will stand is, would you recommend going to see Fast 9 outside of, like, unless you're a fan and you're definitely down for watching the Fast and Furious and you feel like you have to because I've watched the rest, I need to do the new ones. Would you recommend Fast 9?
Look, man, yes. Like, it's a fun fucking movie. And fun is in short supply these days. Like, okay, we're all nerds here, and I'm speaking to our audience as well, and we have this philatelic urge, and it's this idea that, oh, God, I have to have watched fucking everything to plug into that. Yeah, no, this is kind of like episodic television. You can watch any fucking random episode of the A-Team and have a good time. You can watch any fucking random movie of Fast and Furious and have a good time. As long as you're plugged into, like, their definition of a good time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Maybe you're Quinny. Sorry, I'm picking on Quinny a bit today.
That's okay. I'm tired. I've got a big weekend ahead of me trying to be funny. I got no spoons for fighting you, buddy.
It's okay, champ. But no, you must come around and have some barbecue and drink some Ferrari and watch some Fast and Furious.
Okay, as long as you never call me champ again.
Okay, champ.
Oh God, we're getting too far off it. But so Quinny, would you recommend it based on our review of Fast 9?
Fast 9?
Do you want to see a car getting driven into space?
Look, the thing is, I will probably watch it, but I also need to watch The Fate of the Furious before that. And now that I know that they're wrapping it up at 10, and then the entire franchise is turning into Mask versus Transformers. Look, I'll watch it. But will I go to a cinema to watch it? I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to, because these films do deserve the big screen shiny treatment.
They really do.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it, fucking why would you not go the big screen, the big noise, the big the big sound system? I've just got to find the time between here and Supernovas and Perth and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, good luck. I mean, yeah, I would say, look, if you're a fan of Fast and Furious, definitely have to watch it, because F9 introduces a whole new character, which is John Cena. You've got to have the missing Toretto brother, who I've got to say, I usually love John Cena. It's not his best work. Like, I felt very lacking in this kind of, like, there's supposed to be an emotional depth that they keep trying to shoehorn into it, and it just does not happen. He just wants a hug.
Cena has been really good at lending some comedy to his work, and he's been really great in straight comedic roles. But this is kind of the first time I think he's been called upon to do, like, real drama or Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it's just, I can play an astronaut or a cowboy.
And he doesn't quite hit it. And I, like, as a performer, I love John Cena. Cena was my pick to play Cable. I thought he would have been a great Cable.
Yeah, I thought he would have been too. Physicality wise, yeah, he probably would have got there too.
Then again, I mean, Brolin was pretty great for it, so
yeah. Look, I hope people out.
Brolin was fantastic, and I keep getting compared to Brolin's Cable, and I'll fucking wear that.
I'll take it.
That's the hair. It is mostly the hair.
Well, I think we've gone pretty much to time on those sorts of things. I think
Yeah.
I'm really excited that Quinny, I think you should take Trav up on that offer. You should go
Yeah,
around
man,
and
come
watch
around.
all of the Fast and the Furious movies in one day.
Oh,
One
Jesus
24-hour
Christ.
period, all of them.
Now we won't do that, but what I'll do is I'll do.
Can you curate a fine selection?
Let's do 6, 7, and 8, and I will grill some steaks. I'll do some chimichurri sauce.
And some corn.
So I'll thinly slice the steaks after cooking. We'll do some chimichurri. You bring the tequila. I'll get in
Coronas.
some Corona.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we'll have a real fucking good time.
I
feel like I've just been propositioned, and I'm surprisingly okay with that.
I did love the shitty barbecue flashback, or not flashback. I did the shitty barbecue reference in F9. That even after everything, and they're coming back to have a barbecue together, like with the family or back together again. I just love the barbecue with shithouse, and exactly the same as the first movie. Some corn, some terrible burgers, and that's it. And some, of course, a bucket full of Coronas that everyone's going to drink from.
One of the great things about Kurt Russell's introduction is like I can't even remember which fucking movie it is. The thing about the Fast and Furious films is like they're like weirdly repetitive, but also very specific. So sometimes I don't remember which fucking movie this was, but there's a point where like Kurt Russell's Mr. Nobody is like dying. He looks like he's dying, and he's like, Dom, I gotta tell you something. And Dom's like, what? It's like, you really gotta try those Belgian beers. They're really good, better than that Corona shit. He's fine.
Oh God! All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Trav, and
man,
helping out with this. And
I
thanks for
can
coming
talk
along,
about this
Quinny, even though
all
you
day.
didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. You've only seen.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know I was going to be doing this, but we've done it now, and now I'm tired, and I've still got research to do. So
because
I'm out.
what are you doing?
Now I'm going to put in a request before you guys go.
Oh.
There is a certain nerd film coming up, and if you don't get me in, I'll fucking knife you both.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What
It's
nerd
called G.I. Joe Origins.
Oh.
Snake
man.
G.I. Joe.
And I am in. I am
Okay.
all the way in.
We haven't got that.
I will also say, if we get to the end of G.I. Joe Origins, Snake Eyes, and there isn't a reference to Transformers or Mask, I'm out. Like, they have done 2 G.I. Joe films already, and neither of them has even remotely mentioned Transformers or Mask, and I am deeply disappointed.
I'm just waiting to see. There are 2 movies coming out where I'm waiting to see the main character just get fucked up. And so one is like Snake Eyes, because like Henry Golding, very handsome man, but we know
he turns into Ray Park.
Hey,
he turns into Ray Park. That's just a terrible fucking thing to happen to anyone.
That is a terrible fucking thing. But we know, like in the comics and in the cartoons and shit, like his face gets all fucked up and he goes mute. And I'm like, when are they going to destroy Henry Golding's face? And the other one is Anya Taylor-Joy, who is in the prequel Furiosa. And I'm like, when are we losing that left arm?
Is it going to be a whole bunch of moments where she keeps putting her arm in things and then it pulling it out?
Like Hot Tub Time Machine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Travis, where can people see more of your wonderful work? We mentioned it a bit
Oh,
earlier.
man, I'm all over the fucking place. You know me. I spread a wide net. I can't hold down a day job, so I freelance.
But where
if
can
you
they
Google
they
Travis
can...
Johnson film critic or Travis Johnson complete arsehole, you'll find my stuff. But my is Celluloid and Whiskey with an E because of my Irish heritage, .com.au. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at your local pub, chatting up your mum.
Oh, well, good on mum. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, she's done well for herself.
Yes. Quinny, what are you doing this weekend? Nothing? Just
I am going to be
in the morning?
hosting the shit out of some panels.
Yes.
At Supernova. I'm just looking at my list. I'm hosting Dr. Carl. I'm talking to my favorite combatant, Josh Lawson, who, of course, was Kano in Mortal Kombat.
Fucking Kano!
Yeah, exactly. I'm very excited about fucking Kano.
Fucking Kano!
Talking to John Jarrett and talking to Cody Smith-McPhee, who was Nightcrawler in the X-Men films.
Ooh.
And the main character in 2016 1967.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
out.
he's
Pretty
actually-
good Australian stuff.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm also going to be looking at the people who were with us last Friday night, the Blaster in the Right Hands, Richard D. Carvalho, and his peeps. So yeah, if you're at Supernova,
those
that's what
great.
I'm going to be doing.
Predator says, don't forget
Yeah.
the unicorn
Like
balls.
it, I love
Quinny.
those guys.
They are good people. What was that, Dion?
Predator said, don't forget the unicorn balls for Josh's panel.
Ah, yeah.
Get him some candy because that's a perfect way to.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to meeting him backstage and just going, "Hey, buddy," and him going, "Fuck, not you."
Excellent.
And I write the announcement scripts that go over the PA at Supernova. And do you know how hard I wanted to get in there? And on the cosplay stage, we have from Mortal Kombat, Kano. That's Josh Lewis. You fucking beauty.
Josh, you fucking beauty.
You fucking.
Yeah. No, actually, you can't. Can't you get a Magic Mike joke in there? Yeah, it'd just be like,
Probably.
yeah, on this stage. Yeah, right. I put a shirt on Magic Mike. All right. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hello, we got there in the end. Hopefully, we'll keep these non-tech difficulties for the future. And join us.
One on Tuesday.
Join us. I'd say us, but maybe not me. But join Quinny and whoever else is with Quinny, where they're talking about movies that ruined your childhood.
Yeah.
Yes. You know all of those ones. You want the despair squid. You want the ROUSs. You want the swamp of sadness. Yes, all of those things. All those terrible, terrible trauma-inflicting movies. Think of them, and they will discuss them. It's a day of sad.
Missy is asking, "Are we rating?" I'm just seeing whether or not we can.
Don't know. Can't answer
Are
that
we
question.
what?
There's a thing that's
I'm
called
saying-
rating, Trav, and apparently you take your followers and you raid into another person's, and it's nice. It's a cool thing to do. I see Steph's online. You could go raid Hex,
Yeah.
just to say, oh, hey,
Yeah,
you
but-
can go chat to them anymore. But yeah, Jordan's on.
Yeah.
Everyone,
I don't know. Do we feel,
pick someone.
What do you feel like? Do you want to raid Hex or do you want to raid Jordan?
Look, I think both of them. Dealer's choice,
I'm
Quinny.
going to go and drink tequila on my couch with my cat,
Yeah.
and I'm going to watch a horror movie. Like
Hey.
that's what I'm going
Sounds
to do.
Yes, fair
amazing.
enough.
Okay. We'll raid Hex. Hex has been on the show a few times. And I love Jordan. She's amazing. But you know, oh, hang on. Jordan's doing audience games, so let's do Jordan.
Maybe, yeah, there we go.
Um,
Last minute change. Yeah, thanks everyone. What an interesting Friday night. Friday night, the new thing for me. I've started on a Friday. Why not?
Yeah.
Hey.
This is your first time, isn't it?
It is.
You're like,
It's
"Oh,
different because I don't do it the way you do it. It's different.
No.
Oh, and
Different.
viewers, I just want you to know I'm not actually angry. That's just my face.
It's true.
All right. Night
Night
all.
everybody. Thank you.
I'll see you all later. Bye.
Good night.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. The powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. But martial arts from iron fist and wall, I'll dab her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. This MMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, face.